This happened in summer 2018. I was 22 and that summer was lucky enough to get a summer internship in London and found a dorm-type housing situation. The company generously provided a housing stipend to all interns who were traveling a certain distance from home. So keep in mind, my job is paying for this. The building I live in was in the Green Lanes and meant for people who were in London short-term, typically students. You could pay rent week by week. They provided both suites, private room and bathroom, and shared kitchen, which is what I had, as well as just rooms without bathrooms. The following details about how the building was set up are kind of important, so please bear with me. To get into the building, you had just one key card, which unlocked entrances to the building, your hallway, as well as your suite or bedroom, but not to any other hallway. To get into the building, you had to enter a metal gate from the street with a key card onto the property, which also included a little backyard and bike racks. Then you'd use the key card again to enter the actual building. You would use it again for the elevator to get to your floor, swipe into your hallways, then swipe into your room. With all of that out of the way, I can proceed to the actual creepy encounter. So, I've been living there for about 3 weeks, and even made a great friend from India who was in London during a 6-month pastry course at some hotshot baking school. Me and her hit it off the second we met. We'll call her Priya. She and I, as well as one of our friends in the hostel, a 30-year-old man from Spain in London, on some marketing training course his company was paying for, made a ritual of gathering each night to smoke, drink wine, watch the World Cup, and generally chill because we had a really great little trio form. They are both great people. So the night this all went down was like any other. I came from work, got off the bus on my block, and was approaching the first metal gate to my hostel. Standing there at the door is a man, about 30 to 35 years old, with very unique hair. I'd never seen him before, but people came and went all the time in this place. He was fiddling with a magnetic key card just like mine. I knew he belonged there because the keys had the building's logo printed on them, so I could tell that it was, in fact, just his key card's magnetic strip malfunctioning. So I said hello and introduced myself and helped him inside. I, as a woman, I am cursed with a very friendly and sunny disposition. I'm very easy to talk to. I can find something in common with almost anyone, which has often led me to men I've rejected cursing me out for leading them on by having been nice to them. This guy starts to flirt with me right away, and I drop casually that I have a boyfriend. He asked for my number, and my stupid ass actually gave it to him because I figured he just moved in here. He seems nice. We have a pretty great evening squad I chill with, and I figured it might be nice to invite him down for a smoke with Priya, our Spanish friend, and I in the evenings. Because I'm the type of person to think, oh, if he's living here, he's probably new to London and knows no one like all of us when we got here. Only thing is, and this is embarrassing and hilarious, except for my own phone number, I only know one other number, my mother's. So literally, without thinking, when I was asked for my number, I recited my mom's phone number reflexively and did not realize it. Until about 10 minutes later, when I get back to my room, my mom calls me frantic, screaming, "Who are you giving your number to over there?" And I instantly understood what just happened and was like, "Oh, my bad, Mom. I did the number thing again." To which she responds, "That's good, but who the fuck is he? You need to stay the fuck away from him." So essentially, he started texting my mom as though it were me naturally, and she understood what was up right away and nice replied, "Oh, I'm sorry. This has happened before. This is not Elle's number but her mother's, but here's hers." And he started sending her voice memos on WhatsApp screaming, like, "What kind of fucking games are you playing with me?" Aggressive as shit. So I'm like, bruh. So I text him myself explaining my mistake and how no one was playing games with his ass and to watch his fucking mouth. So basically, once he realized I'm not trying to play him or whatever. He goes back to being a gentleman, by which I mean immediately asking me to come check me, which I assume is British slang for come see me in my room. So at this point, I don't fuck with this dude because of how aggressive his reaction was. I'm not going to hang out with him or invite him to meet my friends. So I politely declined, saying I'm not trying to have anyone in my room, and then he starts demanding to know my hallway and room number. At this point, I'm pretty freaked out because all women know men are fucking scary. I'm not thinking. Thank God his keycard did not have access to my hallway if he did know which room I'm in. After realizing I am not telling him, and also realizing that he's now creeped me the fuck out, meaning we will not get to hang out, he started to literally threaten me, sending me voice memo on WhatsApp screaming at the top of his lungs that I'm a cunt and a stupid bitch, and that he'll literally fucking kill me. Mind you, it has been about 30 minutes at this point since I met this man. He also sent me death threats in the following day around 10 a.m. So then I'm like, well, shit. I did the only thing I could, which was to immediately contact hostel management and report this. I provided them with all the screenshots and voice memos, and there was no arguing. They kicked him out by the very next morning, and also told me the police were involved. Though no one spoke to me about it, I assume they did not have to, as management had the screenshots and voice memos to show them. I was told that the police came around 9 a.m. that morning. That timestamp made me realize he sent me threats this morning after the police spoke to him. He's mad I called the cops. And he seemed like a crazy motherfucker. So I'm afraid. I went to work that morning and told my boss what happened. She was a wonderful boss and mentor, and a brilliant attorney, and I bonded with her. So I was telling her because I was shaken up more than anything, and I trusted her. I didn't expect help. I'm extremely happy that I did talk to her because she waited for me to finish talking and wide-eyed said, "You're not staying another fucking minute in that place." Because she was thinking what I was thinking. What's to stop this creep from waiting for me outside that first gate one of these days and attacking me? I can't thank her enough because she came home with me, packed all my things straight from work, and rented me a comfortable hotel room for 3 nights, for which she generously paid out of pocket because she wasn't allowed to put it on the company card. Within that 3 days, she helped me find a very nice Airbnb apartment that I shared with one very nice roommate for the remainder of my time in London. And it actually ended up being cheaper than the hostel, unbelievably, because the hostel was in Green Lanes, and this flat was 3 minutes walk from Old Street Station. I was so thankful for our amazing initiative, but was sad to leave my hostel friends and our nightly routine behind so suddenly. All that shit went down within 12 hours. In the following weeks, Priya did, in fact, see this guy lurking around the building several times, as he was easy to spot by his aforementioned very unique hair. I thank my lucky stars that I never had the chance to introduce them, because who knows if he would have targeted her in lieu of me once I moved, because he knew we were friends. I'm very lucky to have had the incredible boss I had, who went above and beyond to keep me safe. This was quite a few years back, in 2013. My friend and I happened to be in Turkey at the same time. He is my closest and oldest friend. He owns a house that's perched on a hill and is very close to snooty bars and cafes. One night we got really drunk. Bear in mind, we were still 21 to 19 respectively. So we started acting a little childish, which encompassed talking to random people about random things, sneaking into the university nearby, trashing the street, and so on. Really stupid shit I kind of regret and will never want to do again. His house was where one of the bridges was. Anyone who knows anything about Turkey can imagine how beautiful and panoramic the view is. And just below his house stood a very famous cafe that was frequented by celebrities. On this particular night, for some reason, the cafe was closed. However, it was easy to get into because they did not have any locked doors and instead plastic coverings that you can just zip open. But to get a plastic covering, you had to jump over a wall that was just under 1 meter high, as the main entrance was blocked off. For no reason at all, we decided to enter the cafe. I know, stupid and illegal. I say no reason, but our reasoning was we wanted to see the view. However, that was dumb because a vast space right next to the cafe contained beaches and had exactly the same view. So we got into the cafe and walked towards the far end, where the view is most visible. As we were enjoying the view, like 10 seconds later, we heard noises of 2 men. We looked back to see a young man of around 25 to 26 and an older man of around 60 asking us what the hell we were doing there. So we told them the truth. "We are here just for the view," we both replied. But then we began walking back towards the wall we jumped in from. At this point, I was more embarrassed than scared. However, as we were walking back, I heard what sounded like a gun being cocked back. I looked back to see the old man with a silver gun in his hand. I walked a little faster and jumped over the wall. All of this happened within the space of around 10 seconds. As we walked and jumped over, the man was muttering some stuff that I could not remember because I felt shaken up by the fact he had a gun. When we jumped over, the guys were on the other side of the wall talking to us. He asked us why we were being so stupid and what our aims were, all the while waving the gun around. We just repeated we wanted to see the beautiful view. He kept repeating that he could kill us on the other side of the wall and bring us inside and make it look like we were shot inside. Private property for intrusion. I don't know exactly what the law is regarding trespassing, but any cursory investigated into such a murder would show it was committed outside the premises. However, Turkish police are not always the most reliable in such cases. I am pretty sure the guy was drunk. Maybe he was slurring his words a little, and I saw a bottle on a table situated in the direction they came from. It is more likely he was in some kind of war, like the Cyprus invasion. He was probably telling his young friend some old war stories over some drinks. I have seen plenty of his types in Turkey, and he was certainly old enough to be in relatively major combat. So he was probably pumped up on all the memories along with the alcohol, and ready to preview to himself and his friends some of his past adventures. Anyway, after him rambling on for about 2 minutes, we said goodbye and left. To be honest, we were shaken up for a while and discussed how this person could have easily killed us, given if he was angry at something else at that moment. We went home and laughed about it the next day, and I am totally aware we were in the wrong for climbing over the wall. Hello to all. I am here tonight to share something that happened to me in 2018. First of all, I will set the context. I was living in Berlin, Germany, and my boyfriend at this point, at that time, lived a 5-hour drive away. So I had planned to go see him like every fortnight for the weekend, and I used the carpooling site BlaBlaCar that I have used so many times before. I see that a young man is heading down that way, and that there is already one seat taken by another girl. So I reserve my seat and wait for this person to come and fetch me. We meet up at the spot we had agreed to, and he explains to me that the other girl had to cancel last minute, which is totally fine. Odd, but I mean, it can happen. Anyway, I jumped in. The driver, Ben, seems very nice, talkative. Just before leaving Berlin, he turns to me and explains that he has forgotten his driver's license at home, and that we must go fetch it, which is already a bit of a pain, because it's the other side of town, and Berlin is big. And let's be honest, you know how you're going away for the whole weekend and that you have a really big journey and you forget about your license? Anyway, moving on, we get to his and he parks up and turns to me and says, "Would you like to come with me and visit my place?" I was like, no thank you. Off we go. He's talking away and all of a sudden starts touching my thigh and explains that he is a personal trainer and a massager. And I was like, cool for you. I made it quite clear that I was heading to my boyfriend's and that I was not comfortable. He continues touching my hands, my thighs, and my neck. And at this point, I was like, do I get out? I mean, I'm on the motorway, already about 2 hours away from Berlin, and it is a traffic jam. So 5 hours ended up being 7 hours. My plan was to pretend to be asleep, I thought. That way I don't have to interact with him. And he might leave me alone. Thing is, I really fell asleep. And when I wake up, I realize I'm in the middle of nowhere. Like on tiny roads, in the middle of the forest. And this guy turns to me and says, "You know, if I wanted to, I could kidnap you and take you into the woods." I played tough and said, "You don't scare me, and I am planned for all situations." He took no notice and my boyfriend rang me at that point. I explained and kept him posted. So as we come out of the woods, he decides that it's time to eat. So we lose another 45 minutes while he does his own thing. I basically tell him I am fed up and want no more stops, and he tells me that he is tired and that in order to do so and keep him awake, I must massage him. I felt totally stuck, so I briefly touched his neck as in to say, "Now move." We arrived finally. My boyfriend was not there waiting for me because I did not want a fight. I reported him to the carpooling site and he has now been banned. There. I hope it never happens to anyone else.